still not going to start immediately.
Okay.
Because people would have to join. We have to wait for people. Maybe I'll give them like 5 minutes before we start, because I have another meeting, so I don't want to waste so much time. So we're live. Can
Yeah.
you see us at your end? Why am I so excited?
Yes, I can.
I was going for this interview. Why am I excited? Okay. We're live. So I'm going to be monitoring the chat box. So yeah, and sometimes I also type in there. I am a multitasker like that. So welcome everyone. Just in case you're joining us, welcome. Let's see you in the chat box. Where are you joining us from? What's your name? What country are you joining us from? And what time is it where you are? It's 3 p.m. in the UK. So it's the weather is just about going down. Thank God it's not winter, because if it was winter by this time we would have lost daylight. So thank God for that. So we're just waiting for a few more people. Usually when I do this live, I used to say, okay, it's going to be 1 hour. But then I have done some live sessions that almost got to 2 hours. So I hope you're ready for your audience. Are you ready?
Yeah,
Are you ready? Do you have water by your side? I have water because
let
when
me
we
get
start,
water.
you need all the support. Thank you so much. I'm seeing you people, but I cannot see you people in the chat. Please, what is your name? My name is KusKus, as you already know. If this is your first time on the channel, I don't even know where you have been, but it's not too late. So welcome. I'm so excited. I think it's because I haven't done a live session in almost 8 months. So maybe that's why I'm so excited. So guys, welcome. Let me know
Let me get water.
your name in the chat box, where you're joining us from, and what time is it in your country, and when is your interview. Tell us, when is your interview, because I was trying not to do this session too early or too late, because I know that I don't want some people to miss the session, and some people could have their sessions earlier, their interviews earlier, and then we haven't done the session. So I was trying to balance the date in such a way that everybody should be opportune to attend this live session. So let me know, when is your interview. I feel like I'm talking to myself, because nobody's assuming the chats. Let's even know if we're alone at this point. I can see that. I can see 10 people watching us, but nobody's talking in the chat box. Maybe we'll just keep quiet and wait for the people that are willing to come and ask questions. Because this session is not for us. Clearly, this session is not for us. It's for you all watching us. Good. So I'm seeing Unity. I am Adams from Nigeria. Nice. Adams, welcome. Adams, please share this link, okay, to your, WhatsApp, your stories, so that people who have forgotten should be able to join, and also people who are not in Nigeria, they may mix up the time zone and everything, but if you share it and just remind people so they can hop on. Hi Mapa from Colombia. Wow, what time is it from Colombia? Hi Mapa, welcome. What time is it from Colombia? Let us know. Oh, your interview is this week, Tuesday. This is the best decision you have made for
Wow.
yourself. Congratulations in advance. You are not allowed not to be selected after attending this session. I know I've been talking, I like talking. I've not even introduced Miracle yet. So I'm so excited. So, but we're going to start by 5 minutes later. Thank you so much, guys, for joining. You guys are so on time. Thank you, because some people, they will think we're going to wait for 10 minutes. We don't have 10 minutes to wait, because today we're going to kill it. We're going to just finish everything. I hope that Miracle is ready for it. I know she's ready, because we've been planning this live session since last year. She has so much energy, and she benefited from the channel, and she volunteered. Though I did not go looking for her. She just said, whenever you want, I will be here. And she did not disappoint. Please, let's appreciate Miracle in the chat box. And I'm so happy that you guys are participating. I see Ify from Nigeria. Said in Colombia it's 10 a.m. Oh, wow. So such a perfect time. That's great. I hope you're not out. Okay, today is Saturday, so that's great. You're not at work. Hi, I'm Hope from Zimbabwe. Interview is 12 March. Oh my God, these interviews are so close. I wish you all the best. Anybody that is on this session should be able to scale through that interview. Just have faith. Even if you feel like I'm not well prepared. The thing is, you can never be 100% prepared. Even if you're submitting an outcome of your research in school, you're doing a task at work, you will never be 100% satisfied. But the thing is, because there are timelines to these things, you just have to get it done. Okay? So because you're in this session, let me not start praying, okay? But yeah, hello, my name is Sage and I'm joining from Cameroon and the time is 4:03 p.m. So that's the same time with Nigeria. Welcome, Sage. My interview is in a month's time. I want to be like you, Sage. You have time to prepare. Hi, I'm Rodia from Cape Verde. Oh, I love Cape Verde. Someone take me to Cape Verde, please. My interview is in March 8th. Super excited. Oh, excited and nervous at the same time. I can understand. My interview
Yeah.
is 4th March. Hey, that's Monday. This session is for
Yeah.
you. Okay, guys, start dropping your questions. Thank you so much for joining this session, for joining on time. I can see a lot of people who have joined, and I'm so glad that you're here. Thank you so much, Miracle, for doing this. I know that you're busy, probably writing research papers here and there, but you volunteered to help other people because you also benefited from this channel. And this is what we do. This is what, like, I started this channel, putting out information because people helped me without me necessarily having to be stranded. They offered to help, and whenever I went for people to help, they opened up their arms for me. And one of the times when I asked one of the people that coached me during my interview, how can I repay you? The person said, pay it forward. And this is what I'm doing. And this is exactly what Miracle is doing as well. Miracle is paying it forward. Having benefited from this channel to become a Chevening Scholar, she volunteered to pay it forward. So yes, thank you so much, Miracle. I'm so happy that you're here. And for us to start, I would like you to just give us a brief update or information about yourself. Let's just get to know you briefly before we start diving into Chimney.
Okay. Good day, everyone. So my name is Miracle Oluchi Oba. I'm Nigerian, and I'm a 2023 Chevening Scholar, and I'm studying human rights law at Queen Mary University of London. I'm a legal practitioner in Nigeria and also a law lecturer at the
Wow.
Faculty of Law, Abia State University. Yeah.
Wow.
So that's
Wow.
about me. Nothing to
Wow. That's so interesting. You're a lawyer, you're a lecturer. That's interesting. So when you're not working and researching and teaching, what are you doing? How do you have fun?
online.
So,
I just
but
come online and laugh, and then that's it.
okay, that's so nice to
But I
know.
love to
And
go out, I love to travel.
have
Yeah.
you left the UK since you came?
Yeah. I'm not outside the UK, but I'm planning to during the summer vacation. But last Christmas break, I left London to other parts of the UK, but I've not left the UK. Like,
The UK. Yes, you should. This summer that is coming, you should.
yeah.
It's so nice to meet you. I never knew you were a lecturer. I just knew that you were doing a master's degree. So that's really interesting. It looks like your brain smoke is already starting to come out. I can see it. There are all those people that are very, very talented. I can see it. Anyways, okay. So have you guys started? Okay, I can see questions. So me too. I had questions because I felt like, oh, so that we don't, wait for the audience if the audience is not enthusiastic enough to ask questions. But they're actually asking questions, and at this point, I don't know if I should start with my question or if I should start with the audience question. But the fact that this session is for the audience, I'm going to prioritize the
Yeah.
audience question. And whenever I feel
Okay.
like the question I wrote down was not answered, then I will bring it in. Okay? I can see
Okay.
question. Okay. Somebody said question one. Is that the very first question? Okay,
Oh
let
my
me see
God.
where I stopped. Oh, somebody joined us from El Salvador. It's 9 a.m. Okay, welcome to your breakfast session. My interview is in 2 weeks. You're from Ghana. Oh, I love Ghana. I want to visit one day. What's the best dress code? What's the best dress code for your Chevening interview? I like how this session is starting. Person just went straight to dress code. He does not care about how to answer the question. I like it. Please bring it on. Bring it on.
For me, I'll say it's corporate. Depending on your discipline or the area you're coming from. But if you can dress something that looks like your profession, then it portrays you in that light more. But it should be corporate. But some people go by their traditional attire, and it's not bad. Like you can dress in a very smart senator way, and it puts you in a different light. Like everybody's obviously going to come with suits and properly ironed white shirt. But if they see that one person that comes with his or her native attire and is neatly dressed in that and is proud of it, I mean, interviews is about doing something someone has not done just to stand out. So if that puts you in a different light, why not?
I
Yeah.
agree with you. I completely agree with you. Having done that interview and having lived in the UK, having experienced a lot of British culture and the way Chevening thinks, I agree with you because excuse me. So I think that the focus you have to place is on being smartly dressed, and being decently dressed. Okay, decently
Yeah.
dressed does not have a specific attire. It just means whatever you wear should look professional and decent. There's
Yeah.
smart casual, there is corporate, the business corporate, there is your native attire, but look decent. Okay, whatever you wear,
And neat
can
as
you
well.
wear it to
Yeah.
any other corporate place? For instance, you
Yeah.
wear that thing, and after that, they say, we are going to see the British High Commissioner. Will you be proud of that, your outfit? I love to wear native attires, and I know that a lot of events that are organized for Chevening scholars, you see Chevening scholars in their traditional attire. So Chevening
Yeah.
actually allows you to promote your culture, which is why traditional
Sure.
attire is a good option. Nobody's going to judge you negatively because you wore that. But
Yeah.
please be decently dressed. Okay. I hope we've
Yeah.
answered that question. Any other question on attire? So that maybe we just take that point. Can we talk about I'm excited. I haven't done a Chevening video in such a long time. So any other comments on attire question here? What are the cultural values? Okay, we're gonna take that. So yeah, smartly dressed. And when Miracle is speaking, don't just listen to her as a Chevening scholar. Listen to her as a lecturer now, because she's a lecturer. Whatever your lecturer says, you gotta do it. Okay. So thank you for answering that question. I hope we answered your question. Let's know if we did. Um Michael Etienne from Grenada. Oh, how is Grenada and what time is it? My interview is next month, God's will. Can you tell me about myself question, studying in the UK and the career goals? You just asked us about the whole Chevening interview question. Okay. Let's start from tell me about yourself question, because that's the first question they're going to ask you. You can't run away from it. Go
Yeah.
ahead. Over to
So,
you.
okay. So for the tell me about yourself question, is like KusKus said, is the very first question they are going to ask you to, because it's more like getting to know you. So before they get into the main questions, they have to know you. It starts with your name. That's if you've not even exchanged pleasantries. And it's more like what we just did when I started this interview. I had to introduce myself. But it goes beyond that because it's an open-ended question. So you can say a lot of things inside that tell me about yourself question. Because if you just say your name and what you do and you stop, that's a good introduction for you. But I think for a competition like this, it might not be enough for you. So in your tell me about yourself question, you have the opportunity to put in a lot of things about you, things you've done, your achievements, what you stand for, what you represent, what you have passion for, what you intend to. In fact, everything is more like a summary of everything you've done. As little as it is, as unimportant as it is, it might be what to make them, impressed. So from that very first question, you tend to give them the idea to look at me in this particular way, see me this way, and then from that it kicks off everything for you. So I think, tell me about yourself. If I'm going to list a number of things you should include, obviously you're going to say your name, your where you're from, um what you do. Okay, before you get to what you do, you can talk about your education, the level of education you've acquired. Some persons, they are coming for a second master's through Chevening. So if you've already had one, it's a good place to mention it. Talk about your level of academic achievements. Then if you have a very good result that you're proud of, you can put it out there, because you want to use all your strong points to get the scholarship. So once you're done talking about them, you can get into what you do, your professional life, um your awards, that's if you have any to your name, the organization you work with, if you have a foundation, if you have anything you do, just summarize your your strong points in different areas. It doesn't have to be professional alone. It could be in some persons have led in their church, some persons have led in different places that might not be professional enough, but these are the things you can bring in into your tell me about yourself question, and then it clears the road for you. It's more like clear the road. Yeah.
I agree with you 100%. There is no one thing that I'm
Yeah.
going to say, oh, I don't agree. Now, if I was listening to you and I was going for my interview, you have just said, tell them a summary of everything that is important to you, right? And some people may have a whole,
Yes.
and we know that this interview is timed. Meanwhile, let's know in the chat box, what's the slot for your interview? Is it 20 minutes? Is it 30 minutes? I think my interview was 45 minutes slot, but the years later, I noticed the slots were, getting smaller. The time allocated per interview was more like smaller. So, Miracle, you have told
Yeah.
them, the things they should say in tell me about yourself. And we know that there's
Yeah.
probably 5 or 6 more questions that they are going to be answering in that short interview slot. I'm going to put you on the spot just a little bit. If you can cast your mind
Yeah.
back to your interview, when they asked you this question, can you just tell us how you answered it? You need not just tell us word for word, but you can just say what you can remember that you said in that interview. Because as you're a scholar now, we all know that your interview was a success. So whatever you did, we're going to do it. But we are not going
So,
to copy you, but we are just going to take, because I want you to demonstrate a time limit. I remember in my interview there were some questions I was answering and they had to stop me, which I think they were very kind, because some people will judge you negatively for that. Like you've been talking for too long, if you get what I mean.
yeah.
So give us an idea. Is it going to be 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes? How did you answer that question? Welcome, Miracle, to Chevening Interview. My name is KusKus and I'm your panelist. So, Miracle, let's get to meet you. Tell us about yourself.
Okay, thank you, KusKus, for this question. My name is Miracle Oluchi Ogba. I'm a lawyer. I'm a legal practitioner with 5 years of practice experience, and I'm equally a law lecturer at the Faculty of Law, Abia State University. I graduated from Faculty of Law, Abia State University in 2018, and I had the first class. And I went to the Nigerian Law School in 2019 for my bar finals, and then I had another first class at the Nigerian Law School. And that
Okay.
was me breaking a feat in my school that no one has been able to achieve. Currently, I'm a law lecturer at the Faculty of Law, Abia State University, and I teach human rights law. This is part of the reason why I intend to study human rights law at Queen Mary University of London. I run a non-governmental organization called Achievers Forum, where I help students who are not doing so well in their academics to be able to learn, have some extracurricular time, where I'll teach them for free, not being paid, to be able to meet up with the level of academic requirements with other students in their class. I'm passionate about helping the less privileged children as well, and I'm looking forward to collaborating with other NGOs in this field to see the level of impact I can create. I love to swim. I love to travel. I love to meet people, and I'm a good and I'm also a human rights activist. So these are just a lot of things I could say, but I assure you, didn't exceed 5 minutes, because I was that
Yes, I agree with
eloquent
you.
as I
It's not even
said.
up to 5 minutes. It's not up to 5 minutes,
Yeah.
and you've given me so much to interest me to want to get to know you more. So
Yeah.
let's know in the audience what you think about Miracle's answer. I think that if I was a panelist and you gave me this response, I'll be very impressed. I'll be very impressed because you have given me your academic background in brief. And the fact that you did not just say, oh, I made a first class in law school, you said which was a groundbreaking stuff that has never been done before. That brings my antenna like, ooh, this is a leader. This is, this is a visionary. So I'm already scoring you positively in my mind because, oh, I want to get to know this girl more. And then you're saying things like, you're not just a law lecturer. That's your professional background, which is good. You went ahead to say, I run an NGO. I'm passionate. So you did not just tell us about your profession and the course you studied. You're trying to link your interests. You said, which is why I want to go and study a human rights. So I don't need to be looking at you now. I have connected your career path and your future. Like I already know this is why she wants to study human rights. I'm already at peace with the fact that okay, this course you choose is just the right one for you. And you've also demonstrated that you volunteer. So the fact that you work with NGOs and you're already telling us you are looking forward to collaborating with more NGOs. You're already telling us you're a perfect candidate for Chevening because you're already networking, you're already showing your networking abilities and your networking priorities. So with that response, I want to get to know Miracle more. Ooh, Miracle is interesting. She's not boring. She was not saying, I'm asking you about yourself and you're thinking too much. Don't you know yourself? So she was so eloquent, fluent in such a way that she kept me interested. Okay. When you're answering that question, at the end of that question, they should have this. I want to get to know her more. Wow, this is so interesting. Not like, do and finish, do and finish. When somebody starts thinking you're talking too much, it means you're no longer making sense. You're going off point. If you know what I mean. I'm talking to people in the comments now. Because if Miracle gave me this response that she just gave me now, why wouldn't I want to get to know her more? I'll get to know her more. I'll be more interested in knowing, okay, I want to know what do you do in that your NGO. In fact, after the interview, I might have a chit chat with Miracle if I have time. So yes, that's a perfect answer. And she told me all these things, and it was not even 5 whole minutes. So don't think that you need 10 minutes to answer a question properly. You don't need all that. 5 minutes, I would say, is good to answer any question, except they ask you to now further expatiate. And then if you have more to say and you feel like, oh, I'm talking too much, I don't know if they're going to listen, you can give some prompts like, oh, I have more. Would you like me to continue? And then if they're enjoying it, they'll say, oh, go ahead. But if they feel like you've given them enough, they'll say, oh, that's fine. We still have other questions to ask you. That way, you're protecting your insecurity of, oh, I don't know if I'm talking too much, if they are going to listen to me or not. You're just, I have more examples. Would you like me to share? Then they can say, oh, we think that is okay. Or please go ahead. Why not? We are here for this. So thank you so much, Miracle, for that question. I really love this session. It's very active. Okay. Let me look for the next question. Oh my goodness, I don't even know where to start. I'm all over the place. Okay, we've gotten to the next question now. What makes a perfect answer to the tell us about yourself question? That's good because we've just answered that, just to ensure that I'm not missing anybody's question. So we've answered that question now. What are the cultural values of the UK? So I'm repeating the question that I saw to you.
But I'm not from the UK now.
Exactly. We are not from the UK. Okay.
Is it in respect to your interview? Like, how do you want to bring that into your interview?
Yes, because I think this
Yeah.
question would be, questions like how would you participate in the culture of the
Maybe.
UK when you arrive? How will you
Yeah.
integrate yourself in the society? This question might not just come out on its own. It might be integrated in other questions
Yeah.
like networking and all of that. But what you need to keep in mind, to the person who asked this question, you are not just going to the UK to learn their culture, you're also bringing your own culture into the UK. So you need to be aware of your own culture and the UK culture. Now, why is there a Chevening opportunity? A Chevening opportunity is a diplomatic opportunity that brings the British government and your country's government together to create this opportunity where you come to the UK to gain knowledge using the British government funds. So that means education is a value. That means collaboration is a value. That means improving lives is a value. So it's not like, oh, there's a specific list that says these are the cultures of the United Kingdom. You have to take your mind out of a technical place into a free, like, just break it down. How does things work? How does Chevening work? Oh, we apply. And how is Chevening funded? Chevening is funded by philanthropies in the UK. So people give their time and their money to the UK. And how is Chevening applications, selected? People volunteer their time to read these applications and shortlist people. Nobody gets paid. People volunteer their time to come and interview applicants, or people, interview applicants. They don't get paid for this. So that means Chevening values philanthropy. Chevening values impact, paying back to the society, giving back to the society, volunteering. That's why you would always hear every Chevening scholar would have a volunteering story to tell. They'll tell you, I either was volunteering in church or in a community. If you always hear impact, you always hear volunteering, you always hear philanthropy, you always share, all those values. So you now have to say, which one am I going to work with? There are so many values, but I'm not going to be able to highlight all of them simply because they might not ask you this question like this. So how do you infuse these values or these cultures into your answers? You could be giving an answer and you're like, oh, because I am a human rights activist, I have worked with a lot of NGOs in Nigeria, and I've discovered that there is, the most challenge in NGOs is funding. And this is why I'm also taking a course in human rights in the UK. I identify a UK to be a country that supports charity. I have heard of charity stores in the UK that sell discounted items. I have heard of lots of organizations that are funded by philanthropists in the UK. I am looking forward to going to the UK to network with these organizations, because I know in one way or the other, either with personnel, with technical knowledge, or with funds, I'm going to be able to also bring this, what I have learned in the UK culture, because they support is a culture that supports charity work. I can learn and gather this experience and go back and apply it in my country. Have you not infused the UK culture in your answer without them asking you? You have.
Yeah. And then I also think maybe the person was trying to ask questions relating to studying the UK essay. Maybe for questions as to why do you want to study in the UK, some people tend to use the fact that they are curious about learning UK culture, British cuisine and anything. You don't have to go know all the UK culture. Just pick one and explain why you've heard so much about it, you're interested and you want to see how it works. It could be a British cuisine that you want to experience. So it doesn't have to be something very serious. And then some other persons could answer that question looking at culture shock, the kind of cultural experience they will have in the UK that is going to be probably different from what they are used to. So the question could come in several ways, actually. But I think for me, during my own interview, it came in form of why do you want to study in the UK? So I talked about the places I wanted to see, the meals I wanted to taste and stuff like that. So it's part of British culture, and these are the things that excited me. So it could be positive, it could be negative.
Yeah. I also know that some people have talked about the fact that the UK, the British people love tea a lot, and I want to go and experience that. People have talked about the fact that they want to go and watch live football matches, which is very good. Some people have said, I want to drink coffee. I hear they drink a lot of coffee there. So it could be just anything at all. They just want to see your curiosity and your, excitement to want to learn. Okay. And the way I gave that response about culture, you can also feed it into why do you want to study in the UK. So I think we have dwelled on that question. Let us know if LK Boots, I hope that's your name. Let us know if we've answered the culture question properly for you. If you think we have not, then probably shed more light how you want it in the comments. But trust me, if you answer it that way, infusing it in your answers, it is still very good. Okay, how much is to talk too much? I'm having trouble thinking I'm telling the details of my examples, but not taking so long to answer. So I think we've answered this question, like because people think that if I want to give my answer, it has to be like 10 minutes. Didn't you hear what Miracle said? A lot. It was not even up to 5 minutes. I'll leave that question for Miracle to answer. I'm not the lecturer here.
So can I get the question again?
So how much do you think is too long to give your responses to questions?
For me, I didn't time myself when I was responding to my answers, and I guess my interview took long as well. So some persons are very good with words, and then they spend more time, and some persons they don't speak so fast, so like
Mm-hmm.
they gradually say what they want to say, and some persons can just do blah 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 blah. They don't even care if you are listening to them. So for people that speak faster, people that speak fast, they tend to say a lot in a little amount of
The
time.
time.
And but if you're making eye contact with your panelists, you should know when they're expecting you to stop. So don't give yourself time in your head, and you've not said what you want to say, and you feel like you should stop. You don't have to stop when they don't stop you. I was
Mm-hmm.
never stopped in any of my sessions, maybe because they were enjoying whatever thing I was saying. But then just they allow you to say what you want. They don't want to cut you short. They allow you to give the details you want to give. They listen to you, and then when you're rounding off, they will also know, and then you calm down. You don't have to rush it so that you can say a lot in few time. You
Mm-hmm.
don't also have to gradually crawl and say everything you want to say. No, just speak like you would on a normal day, and then when you're looking at them, when you've impressed them with the way they are, with their body language. You would know when they are impressed, and you're like, okay, I can reserve my ass now, probably put it into the next question, because all the questions are going to ask you are interwoven.
Yeah.
Your leadership answer can have a networking aspect of it. So if you didn't say it in your response to the leadership question you were asked, you can bring out that answer as a networking answer. Just a line of it will make it turn into a networking answer. For instance, if I said I led when I was in school, maybe I was the vice president. I'm just trying to make an example. I was the vice president. I organized so and so, and I choose so and so, and
Mm-hmm.
and I'm talking to them, and I feel they are satisfied with my response to the leadership question they asked me. I can just summarize it there and drop it there. In my next question, they might be asking questions relating to networking. I can say that, oh, I've already said I was the vice president. I can now say during that time, it gave me the opportunity to meet a lot of persons, networking. I'll just, turn around everything and still use it. So you mustn't say, because I know you've prepared so much, you've probably crammed and you want to say everything you crammed for that part and that part. If you feel, because you are the one in the interview, if you feel this is no longer needed because it's already enough, just leave it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, so you don't have to say everything, but just use your sense and, flow.
Yes. So accurate. That's so accurate because, like I said, if you feel like, oh, I don't know if they are bored and I want to give more examples, just tell them, I have more examples. Would you like me to continue? And if they have the time, they can say yes. If they say no, it's enough. You know that you're in good hands. Don't be scared, and please learn to speak at a comfortable pace. I speak very
Yeah.
fast. And for people who are taking notes, at your interview, they are taking pointers, they are taking notes. And if you speak very fast, you're not helping yourself because they will miss a lot of things. So speak at a comfortable pace, and also don't bore them by dragging so much, okay? just be alert, be aware, be conscious of the room. Give eye contact. Like you said, if you're speaking to somebody, you give them eye contact, they smile, they are nodding. You know that they're in the spirit, they are with you. Go ahead. I did one interview in January that they asked me to do a presentation, and they said the presentation is 10 minutes. I'm like, okay, that's fine. So I go into the interview and I say, I want to set a timer for 10 minutes. And they're like, oh, don't set a timer. I'll set a timer for you. The head of the interviewer said, I'll set a timer and I'll let you know when it's 2 minutes. I said, okay, that's fine. I start my presentation and I finish my presentation and I'm like, oh, I'm not sure if I exceeded 10 minutes. I hope I'm not. And then she's like, oh my God, I forgot to time. I'm sorry. I was not even checking the time. What does that mean? It meant they were enjoying the presentation.
They
They did not
enjoyed
even
it.
bother with the
Yeah.
time again. So if you see from there, and I knew from the way they were responding that they were enjoying it, that's why I did not bother rushing. I was taking my time and I was giving it to them. But if you read the room and see that they are now more focused on maybe trying to write, they're no more giving you eye contact, they're no longer nodding very well, you can wrap it up. You'll get, because it's not everybody that will remind you to wrap it up. So yeah, that's about time. The next one is how much? Okay, we've answered that one. Do you have any ability to do mock interview for free this time? I'm not able to do free mock interviews because that's why we are doing this session. And I have a lot of videos on my channel talking about my interview experience, my interview questions, and everything around that, which I think is actually sufficient. But if you insist on a one-on-one mock interview, you can book. If you check the description box to this video, you would probably see, okay, I'm just going to paste it on the channel at the end of this live. I'll paste the link to book a one-on-one session with me if you want that. But I would usually say it's absolutely not necessary. But if you want to, you have to buy that time, to be honest, because I could have been doing other things. I could have been making videos that every other person will watch. But you want my time for 1 hour, one-on-one. So yes, all you need to do is scroll through the channel. Every video apart from this live has the link to book my private services. It's there. So yeah. But you can practice mock interviews with your siblings, with your friends, because the more you practice, the more fluent you become. Okay. I keep missing the points. Okay, I've talked about British code. To talk about Chevening values. Oh, do we have Chevening values? Are they different from the ones we just talked about? British culture is the same values: networking, leadership, impact, right?
Yeah.
It's literally the same. Volunteering. Chevening wants to see how you want to contribute to the community when they give you the opportunity. They don't like selfish people. They like people who want to give back. As they are giving you, you're also giving back, which is what we are doing right now. So this is the kind of people Chevening are looking for. Your ability to want to help other people, to create a positive impact, to lead, to influence others positively, and to solve problems. That's literally what Chevening is about, and networking is very important for them. Okay, that's done. Please, if I miss your question, put it back again just in case. Oh, in Grenada it's 11:14. I guess it's 11:39 now. Thank you so much for letting us know. Can you talk about the most difficult questions? Can you talk about the most difficult questions? Are there questions like that?
That's why I'm laughing. Like, I don't think no question is supposed to be a difficult question or supposed to be a surprise, because if you did your essay yourself, then you're supposed to be able to answer, because it's more like what you've done in your essay. Your panelists are going to come with your essays printed out. For my interview, let me not say for sure, I don't know, but during my own session, they came with a copy of my essay, so they already have it. They've read it, and then they made questions from them. The questions didn't come from what I didn't say. You cannot come and ask me something in a field or something I didn't talk about. So they were asking me questions based on what I've written in my essay. So it's not supposed to be a difficult question, because I wrote I'm a lecturer. So if they ask me questions in that area, I should be able to answer. I wrote that I want to study human rights law at Queen Mary University of London. So if they ask me questions about Queen Mary or anything, or questions about things I've said I've done, if for example I said I was a student leader, I did this networking, I built this network with a particular person. Probably I mentioned names and stuff like that. They can ask you questions in that area. So it's not like it's not going to be a difficult question, and it's never going to be anything outside your essay. Even the follow-up questions are going to be based on what you've said. So
Exactly.
it's not going to be difficult unless
Yeah.
you did not write your essay or you don't know what is in your essay. Even though from the videos I watched from Kuseme's video, I think one thing I took from there was to prepare an entirely new, not like a new essay, but to build or talk about things that were not really contained in my essay. For instance, I think we submitted as November, and my interviews came on March. So between November
November
and
and March.
March, yeah, I had to look up for new examples for my networking and my leadership that were not in my essay that they had. So it was very interesting for them because they've already read what is in my essay. So coming to talk about it again or recite it was actually going to be boring. So that was interesting for them to learn new things I've done within that time space. I actually told them these things I'm going to say are not in my essay because I went on to do them after I submitted my essay. But when I was done talking about them, I still had time because they were very interesting. And I went back to some of the things I said in my essay and highlighted why they were very important to me as part of my achievement. So they asked questions based on what I said. So it wasn't difficult for me to respond because I said it. So there is never a difficult
Absolutely.
question. These interviews are just what you've said, what you said you represent. This is what they're going
Yeah.
to ask about.
Yeah. They are not out there to ridicule you or so. Don't,
No,
don't feel like they're out there to attack you. Um, a question I think would only be difficult if you did not prepare for it, or if you say something that you cannot, and they ask you a follow-up question and you cannot clarify. That's when it will change
explain.
over, please. So try not to say something that you cannot give examples or cannot explain further, because like Miracle said, they're literally gonna just ask you what you've said. Maybe you say something and they don't understand, then they'll ask you to explain. So that's there are no difficult questions. It's just about how you prepare, and try not to be nervous, because sometimes, because you are so anxious and nervous, you may not even understand what they are asking you, because the question, I could have asked Miracle, tell us about yourself. Or I could have said, let's get to meet you. Or I could have said, and that's the same question, right? I can ask you the same question in different ways. But if you are not calm enough to understand what I'm asking you, maybe because you had crammed the 5 Chevening questions and they must ask me in this way. This is the question they ask you. So maybe somebody, instead of now saying, tell us about your leadership and influencing example, somebody will now say, we're looking, Chevening is a platform that is looking for problem solvers. Are you a problem solver? You are stuck. It's the same question. It's the same question. So you just have to be in the room. Don't be scared. Don't be, see, let me tell you something. If you are selected for interview, it means you're qualified to be a scholar. The only reason
Sure.
they are doing this interview is because, of course, everybody cannot be sponsored because funding is limited. So they are just trying to streamline the pool. So don't feel like, oh, I'm not good enough. If you were not good enough, do you know how many people submitted application for Chevening? Do you know how many people get shortlisted? Maybe like 10% of the people that applied get shortlisted for interview, and you are there. So you are already a scholar. They are already impressed with your essay and your performance. They're already impressed. So I think your interview is literally in your hands and not their hands, because it is how
Yeah.
much you are able to articulate your points to them to impress them. That's literally what will determine A from B. So yeah. So I have a way of tracking the questions now. So I'm happy I'm not going to be missing again. Okay. Thanks for this session. What can I say when asked? Okay. Korede says, thanks for this interview. Thank you, Korede, for appreciating us. What can I say when asked what makes you different from others or what makes you fit for this scholarship? I think this is related to the question where, because they usually ask this question, the very first question, when they say, tell us about yourself and why you should be selected for Chevening. Yes.
Yeah.
This is the second part of that question. So let's go.
It's very closely related to your leadership capacity. Why you are going to be selected is because you are a leader. Why you're going to be selected is because you have the ability to influence people. You have the capacity to you have the passion to contribute. It mustn't be something that you've started up. It could be something that is already existing, but you have the initiative to contribute to that and change it. So if you ask me why I should be selected, and I've done tell me about yourself and why I should be selected for Chevening, I'm going to spend the other part of the questions talking about my strengths as well. Why I need to go to why I need to be in the UK, why I need to study in the UK. I'll link it more to that because the selection is actually bringing me to the UK to study. So for my example, as a lecturer, I said why I need to be selected for the Chevening Award was because it's never an award for me. Rather, is an award that is going to improve the university sector and the educational sector in Nigeria. That a lecturer like me needs to gain the international experience to study in the UK, get that exposure, and then when I come back, it's going to impact tremendously in the lives of my students. So I removed myself from the equation and show them the people that are going to benefit if they can only bring me into this space. So that is why they need to get me to come here and have this experience because of the outcome is going to yield. So I think that's how I put it for in answering mine. So if you can put it that way, just sometimes it might not be about you. If you can remove yourself from the equation, fine. But let them see the majority of people that are going to benefit from that. That is why they are going to select you.
I am
Because there are
so,
other
so
leaders like
happy.
you in that interview. Yeah.
I'm so happy that Miracle is on this session. Like, it's just a very refreshing perspective because it's so refreshing, I must say. And I hope that people are actually really learning because people always feel like you don't need to be special to be selected for Chevening. And then you might also think what you're doing is not special. They are not asking you, tell me what you have done that nobody else has done in the world. No, they're asking you, why are you who you are? Why are you passionate about what you do? So if you get that question, they're saying, are you the ideal candidate for Chevening? If yes, why? So what is the candidate for Chevening? The ideal candidate for Chevening tells you their ideal candidate. Oh, our ideal candidates are leaders, are people who are passionate about solving problems in their field, people who have 2 years of work experience, people who are willing to return to their those are the ideal candidates for Chevening. So if somebody asks you, why should you be selected for Chevening? Or why do you consider yourself outstanding enough to be selected for Chevening? First of all, you remind them that you think based on your qualifications, experience, and passion, you fit the description of the ideal candidate for Chevening. For instance, Chevening is looking for leaders. I have been able to demonstrate my leadership capacity by solving so and so problems in my industry. Like I said in my leadership essay, Chevening appreciates networking. I have been able to demonstrate in my past, in my career or in my personal life, I have been able to utilize my network to achieve a positive outcome to benefit other people or even to benefit myself. For example, I was job hunting and my network recommended me. Those kind of examples. They're not asking you to say things that no other person in the world has done. They're just saying, how do you fit into the ideal candidate for Chevening? and your ability to demonstrate that with examples. Don't just give them back. Oh, Chevening is looking for leaders. I think I'm a good leader. Chevening is looking for people that can network. I think that I have the ability to network. How do we know? Examples. Give us examples. So thank you very much for that response, and let us know if that response is satisfactory enough. I hope you guys are taking notes, because when you're rehearsing, you're doing your mock, when you're writing down the pattern of your question, how you're going to answer, you need to have these points in mind so that you can tailor your answers to suit them. Okay. Question: what should I include in my answer on why the UK? And is it necessarily different to the question, why Chevening? They are two different questions. Yes, they are different. Go ahead. So
So I
why the
think we've
UK
talked.
and why Chevening?
So I think we've talked about both of them
We
somehow.
have actually, but give
Why
us a summary.
Chevening? Why Chevening is basically because Chevening is a prestigious award. Everybody wants to be a Chevening scholar. You can talk about the alumni body, the fact that they have over 5,000 plus alumni network, and because you are big on networking, you want to join that kind of a large networking body of professionals in different areas, to enlarge whatever it is that you do. So you can talk about the alumni body. You can talk about how prestigious Chevening is as a scholarship body. You can talk about how when it started and how long it has lasted. It means it's actually sustainable, and you like working on areas, or you like partnering with organizations that are sustainable. You can use the opportunity to appreciate what Chevening is doing, the fact that Chevening scholars in your country, they come back, the fact that Chevening scholars in your country, they come back and they do a lot of work, and you look at these people and you emulate them, and you want to also get the kind of experience they got that, empower them to do the amazing work they are doing. So I think that's why you want to become a Chevening scholar other than any other kind of scholar. And then you can also talk about the fact that Chevening just you can also talk about the values we talked about. The fact that Chevening looks out for leaders, people that have networking ability, people that are willing to return to their country. So you can talk about it and say that these things Chevening look out for, they resonate with you, and that is why you want to go for Chevening, because it's what you stand for, and then Chevening is basically going to give you the platform to be able to do that. And then for why UK, I said we talked about it earlier because I felt when we were talking about the UK culture and everything, it could be something you could talk about as to why you want to study in the UK and not in any other part of the world. It could be the UK experience. It could be that you want to experience the weather, which is not very good. It could be that you want to experience the British cuisine or anything. It could be that you're a football lover and you want to study in London. You want to go to Chelsea Stadium and experience. It could be any sport. I know a fellow scholar who talked about the fact that she wanted to go to the Wimbledon Stadium in London and experience it, and she has actually done that. So it could be something. It's never something about your academic experience or anything, but you could talk about things that are very minute. It could be the environment. It could be that you want to go to the beaches. It could be that you want to see different places that you've admired that are in the UK that you want to experience. It could also be that you could link it to your school, the school you've chosen for Chevening. If, for instance, you've chosen Oxford University, it could be that right from the time you were small, you've heard about Oxford, and now you've chosen Oxford University, and it's going to give you the opportunity to have that experience. Anything inside the UK, that is why you want the UK. So you want to study in the UK, you should know why you want to study in the UK. That's basically about it. But it's not straight jacketed to anything that somebody will tell you it has to be this or that. Think about anything about the UK that you want to really experience, then use it and tell them this is why I want to study in the UK, and that counts for why
Yes,
you want to study in the UK.
I agree. I agree with you because, yeah, I agree with you. It could also be, the things that make UK more friendly. For instance, maybe UK is a friendlier community, has a friendly environment to international students. UK is just 6 hours away from my country.
Yeah.
I can get on the same flight on that day and I arrive my country on that day. I don't want to stay too far away from my family. Could be that the UK weather is not as harsh as other countries. You've heard of Australia, Canada, they have extreme weather and you don't think you can survive in extreme weather, and UK is the next best place for you. It could be anything, okay? So think about it. What is unique to you about the UK? Oh, is it I remember during my essay, I've actually, in one of my interview videos, streaming interview videos, I have answered this question. And, I remember during my time when they asked me why the UK, I told them that, first of all, the Nigerian legal system is very much aligned with the UK legal system. Nigeria is common law. Nigeria was colonized by the British government, which means we have a lot of things in common. If I go to the UK, it will not be too difficult to integrate into the educational system because we have almost the same curriculum, which is true. So UK is just going to be like a soft landing for me. And the course I'm going to choose, a UK university was the first university to introduce that course. So it only means I have to go there as a Chevening scholar. So I also said that when they asked me why, so this is number 3 question, because number 3 question is why the UK, why your university, why your course. So when you're answering, you're going to be tying all of that. So when I said I answered why the UK, and I now answered why the university. My university was one of the very first UK institutions to introduce a dispute resolution master's degree. So we have the best lecturers in there for that course. And that's why the university. So why the course? My passion for dispute resolution. In fact, the lecturer, I have read their books in dispute resolution and they actually teach in Queen Mary. So why? So just, it's not generic question. It is the one that is specific to you. What has made you as an individual to make that decision? People go to different countries based on different reasons and different realities. So find your own why. It has to be genuine. It has to be specific to you, your own why. It doesn't mean another person will not say what you said, but they might say the same thing, but in a very different perspective. I hope that answers your question. And then why Chevening? Chevening is also a scholarship that, promotes social life, social collaboration between scholars. So Chevening is that scholarship that when you come to the UK, you're going to have Chevening community, different Chevening communities. You're going to have Nigerian Chevening scholars. You're going to have Queen Mary Chevening scholars. You're going to have London Chevening scholars. You're going to have. I saw on my WhatsApp that I'm in this Chevening group that says Chevening that meets. So usually we were in London, and it's not everybody that likes to go out. So we formed a group called Chevening that meets. So somebody will just drop, hey guys, this Wednesday evening, I'm going to this. We say we are coming. We just go. So that's the kind of community that Chevening Scholarship gives. You hear people say Chevening Scholarships make a lot of noise. That's because we know ourselves. There's no how you will enter a building, a student accommodation building, that you will not end up identifying all the Chevening scholars there, because there's always going to be that community for Chevening scholars. So that is what distinguishes Chevening from other scholarships as well. Chevening promotes a lot of activities. If you're passionate about cooking, trust me, you'll get a cooking session from Chevening. If you're passionate about, there was a session we did. I don't know if you guys have done it here, Miracle. One escape room online. They were asking us to figure out. We're trying to trace a criminal. It was so interesting. So Chevening organizes like boat cruise, and is actually organized by Chevening Secretariat themselves, which is also different from the social activities that Chevening individuals or like Chevening scholars organize. So there's always that community, there's always that excitement. Chevening does not just focus on academics, they also want you to experience the culture, the life, to have fun, to travel. That's another thing that distinguishes Chevening from other scholarships. There are some scholarships that all they do is your academic qualification, and then even when they give you the scholarship, you say you must remain. Probably if they give it to only first class candidates, they would insist that in your studies you maintain that academic status. Otherwise, you lose your scholarship. But Chevening is not like that. Chevening just gives you a free hand to do whatever you want. So there are so many ways that Chevening is distinguished from other scholarships. And what you can do is go to the Chevening website and go to the scholars side. You'll see publications from scholars and everything that you can take. When I gave my answer, they were very impressed because I went to the scholarship side to pick out the things that Chevening does when they're in the UK. I don't think a lot of people knew that, but I was speaking to this Chevening scholar who was coaching me on how to answer that question, and she was telling me that, oh, Chevening, we do like Chevening relays. You guys have the baton, the blue and the red team, right? And I think I was in the red team,
Yeah.
lost. So those relays, Chevening would give you guys games to play. A baton that will go from London to Edinburgh. So, and how did I find that out? I went to that scholars page on Chevening website and I was combing out the activities that Chevening does. And I was putting it in my answers and they were like, this girl, your mind is already in the UK. It's only your body that is in this country. Just come and be going. They did not have a choice. Because in their mind, they were like,
Yeah.
if we don't give this girl this scholarship, she will just go into depression. Because she has already envisioned herself as a Chevening scholar. So
But
yeah,
it comes with that also.
that's how to answer that question. Can I include? I have offers from the US. Chevening is only for UK universities, so I don't know where you're coming from. They don't. Your offers from the US is not going to add to anything for your Chevening application. So I think the interview is an hour. That's good. Some people. Oh, somebody said the interview is for 1 hour. That's enough time for you to express yourself. Amazing. Love how you connected everything with what you want to study and the impact you want to create. That's for Miracle. That's for the lecturer in the room. She shares a lot about her leadership qualities and her passion. Hey, where am I? I've missed that place now. See? Problem. Okay, I'm back. She stressed a lot about her leadership qualities and her passions, learning from her. Good job. Miracle, you're doing a good job. I'm very impressed. And I am the audience is also learning a lot. Wow, the way that she was just flowing and still highlighting all the interesting stuff. I hope I can do that. You can do that if you keep on practicing, practicing, and practicing. The very first times when you practice, you're going to think that, am I not supposed to be talking about myself? How come I'm not fluent? But the more you practice, the more fluent you become. Miracle was very fluent and demonstrates that she is an excellent fit for Chevening. Exactly. They know how you listen to her that you'll be asking, why did they give her? Because you already know. Okay, so we have a question. What are the challenges in the field you choose, and how will getting the Chevening Scholarship help you resolve them? So give them the answer in light of how they should answer that question. That's question number 3 or 4. This is an interview question. Did I ask you this question, Miracle?
No, but it's not a question that cannot be asked. I'll just give a clue on how maybe I would have answered it.
I was asked this
And it's also
question.
depends on.
I was asked.
Okay.
And I think even if you're not asked, number 3 is infused in number 3. In why the
Okay.
UK, why your
I
course.
think there was a change in my, yeah. They asked us, which was very different. I actually prepared for this question, but we were asked to talk about how what the skills we are going to acquire from the course we want to study and how it's going to be relevant. So, and what I did, I didn't prepare for it, but I had to just twist everything and make it appear to be a skill I'm going to learn. So if you know the challenges in your area, you should know the skills that you need to solve the challenge. So in as much as I was preparing for the challenges that come up in my area, I just knew that, okay, for me to tackle this challenge, this is a skill, and taking this course I'm going to be studying in the UK is supposed to give me this skill. So I just mentioned it. And then you also have to research about the modules you are going to be doing in your school, because it could come handy. Because that question required me to talk about the modules I'm going to learn and the outcome, what I'm going to, the skill I'm going to acquire from that module. because it is a skill that we use to solve the challenges. So that
Exactly.
was how the question was asked in my set. But if you're asked about the challenges in your area, it depends on what area you do. So I can only answer based on mine.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say research about your field again if you have not done that. It could just be one or two examples of things that you think are not so great in your area. It might not be necessarily a challenge, but you can just see things differently and propose that maybe it should be done this way. Every other person might not see it as a challenge. So you might be looking for that obvious challenge that you will not find, but it could be that you're thinking it in a different way, and that's what makes you a leader. So look at it in that way and see if there is a need to improve on something. It could be something that is good already, but it could become better. So it could be stuff like that, and then talk about it. And then what's the second part of the question again?
Um, and how will getting the Chevening Scholarship help you solve them?
So obviously that's very easy to link up. Once you've identified the problem or the challenge you want to talk about, you know that coming in to the UK to study is not what you would have done on your own,
Mm-hmm.
but Chevening is going to be very helpful for you to be able to get the skill you need to solve the challenge. So I think you should focus on telling them how getting the Chevening scholarship is essential for you to acquire this skill.
Mm-hmm.
And
Absolutely.
acquiring this skill is also essential for you to solve the problem you've identified. And if you're not if you're not put in that spot, it means nothing can really be done, because if Chevening doesn't bring you here, most of us maybe we won't be here. But then just make them see that you have you've identified a problem, and that's what leaders do. You've identified a problem. You just need the experience to be able to fill the gap. And Chevening is already the platform that will give you that. So once they see that you have they are just looking for the ability to identify a problem.
Mm-hmm.
They know you might not have all it takes to solve it at the moment, but they just want to be sure that, okay, you have the antennas to identify that this is a problem, this is a problem, even though I can't fix it now. But I'm sure that if Chevening empowers me, I'm going to fix that. That's
Mm-hmm.
all they want to hear from you. Yeah.
Exactly. Absolutely. I liked it when you said, think of it like, this is the problem, and I need Chevening to get the skill. And when I get the skill, I can then solve the problem. That is literally what it is. Okay. If there's no problem, why are you going for master's degree? Are you just wasting money? No. Oh, there's a problem. Okay. So as you're going for this master's degree, what are the skills you now want to get? Go and comb your course content. From the course titles, you're going to see what areas the course is going to address, which is the skill you need and the knowledge you need to solve those problems. In fact, that's the easiest question. If you ask, that's the easiest question, because the way I broke it down, it's very easy. I think if you answered your question three very well, it is the easiest question to answer. In fact, this is the question that you should be talking and talking and talking, and they'll tell you is enough. We've had enough. Because this question is very, very sweet. Okay, somebody says, for those on human rights, what will we say about the rights of LGBTQ in Nigeria?
I think this is a very controversial one. It depends on where you stand,
Mm-hmm.
and it depends. It has a lot to do with culture and religion, and which is not always peaceful when they intersect. Studying in the UK, I've heard a lot of things, and I'm like, where are these people coming from? Like, what you want to turn this world upside down? And if you think it's a problem, because the thing is that Nigerians do not see it as a problem,
Mm-hmm.
except people that want to rely on it to get away for something, because culturally speaking, it's and religiously speaking, is not something Nigeria condones. But if you think Nigeria is not giving enough grounds for people to express their human rights, they are infringing on the rights of persons who belong to LGBTQ, then you can become their advocate and stick for a change. And this is something the Western world likes to support as well. They want to see people come to the level that they give liberty to everyone to thrive, to do what they
Yeah,
want to do. So if even if you're a member of the LGBTQ, and then you can boldly say, okay, I'm coming, is a minority group in Nigeria, and that's for sure. And you say you're coming from this minority group and you want to come over to the UK and learn more on how you're going to fight for the rights of these people, then they are probably going to equip you to be able to help persons from that minority group in Nigeria. So you can
absolutely.
canvas for them.
Absolutely. I love your answer to this question. I really love your answer because it is going to be your opportunity to show that human rights should be respected. People should not be, restricted from joining whatever fellowships or organizations they want to join. People, and it's a policy issue. So it's an opportunity to identify a policy problem. You're coming to the UK to learn, which the UK is a free environment, is an environment that accommodates people. We are humans and we are different. We don't all have to say the same thing, think the same way, but we should be able to tolerate other people who are different from us. That's the essence of a working society. And where your country does not support that, it is a policy issue, and you should be given the opportunity to come get more knowledge, more skill, and even the network that you need to influence the policy back home. This question is very sweet, and the answers too. Okay, Joshua, I hope that question has been answered. Let us know in the chat box if it has, and it's been answered. Miracle, it is past 1 hour. We are still talking, and there are still questions. I've not opened the questions that I wrote though. Okay, please. I want to tell everybody that we will end it by 4:30. I have somewhere to go. I beg you people. Okay. Did any of you need to change your university or course choices during the interview? Did you?
I didn't, but
I
you
did.
can. I
I did.
didn't.
So the courses I put in my application, the 3 universities I put in my application, I had the admission, but I didn't put Queen Mary in my application. It was after I started making my application, I now found that Queen Mary had one of the best courses in that field. I went ahead to apply to Queen Mary, and when I was answering my number 3 question, when they said, why did you pick the course? So you first of all introduce, oh, I selected ABC in XYZ University as my first choice. I selected B as my second choice. I selected this as my third choice. However, I now want to place Queen Mary University as my most preferred choice because it is the best university for this course, and I already have an offer to show for it. They did not even argue with me because as I came with so much backup that they'll be like, she always goes for the best. So you cannot now come and say, oh, I want to replace Liverpool University with Cambridge University as my most preferred option. Why? Because I just feel like Cambridge is a very good university. It is one of the top universities in the UK. Okay. Have you made the application? No. After the interview, I'm going to make the application. Excuse me. So we should put Cambridge as number 1 when you have not even applied to Cambridge and we don't even have any instinct, like if you're going to get it.
I was
So
not
please,
sure Cambridge is going to give you an offer as well.
you get, please come correct as you're coming. So they will be very happy to replace your choice if you have a good reason for it. So don't panic. You can even replace 2
And if you
choices.
have the offer, because it's already
Exactly.
late at that time. Yeah.
Exactly. Even if you don't all have the offer, but you know that because Chevening just needs 1 offer, you have 3 options. You can, if you have just 1 offer, but it is not your preferred university, it is still on record that you already have an offer. So even if your first 2 universities do not give you, you already have an offer. And this is not to say that if you don't have an offer as at the time of your interview that you will not be selected. No, there is a different deadline for offers. So even if you've not made your application at the time of the interview, it will not still disqualify you. It will not. They don't care about your offer until the offer deadline. So thank you so much for that question. Enjoying the live master. Me, I'm enjoying it more than you people. Enjoy from South Sudan. Wow, this is so interesting. How is Sudan today? And is it more than one interviewer per person? Have been hearing day. Yes, of course. Miracle, over to you.
I had two panelists present, and one joined us on Zoom, so it was all together three.
Yes, I had three
Mm.
interviewers as well. So yes, and usually the composition is at least one Chevening alumni and one person in your field, at least, and then a member of the Chevening Secretariat or British High Commission. So that's the composition. At least one Chevening scholar will be there, alumni will be there. So when you go, they'll introduce themselves. Oh, I'm KusKus, I'm a Chevening alumni. Target that one. I'm not saying don't target other people here, but all of them are going to make decisions, independent decisions, and then it
Yeah.
will now be collated at the end. So try to impress the three of them. Try to be liked. That's the thing, because when somebody likes you, no matter what you say, they just like you. Like when Miracle
Yeah.
just gave me that her opening and let us get to know you. I already like her. There's nothing she will say that I will not like her. I like her. I like her. And you know what that means. Even if you say that, oh, they have scoring criteria, we are still humans and we have instincts. We have biases. No matter how much you try to control your bias, liking somebody just makes it easier for you to see their good side and minimize the bad side. But if you don't like somebody, you're going to maximize their bad side and minimize the good side. So
Mm.
you should take that into account. How do you answer the question, why do you choose your university? We've answered that question. In a situation where you are yet to have an unconditional offer from, hey, I've missed that question. I don't know. Okay, in a situation where you are yet to have an unconditional offer from any of the three, do I need to talk about the three? You need to talk about why you chose the three, but you don't need an offer. Okay, the offer deadline is different. They will not judge you because you did not have an offer. There are some of my colleagues that at the time of the interview they didn't get any offer, but you always get an offer. That's because some universities have different timelines to process applications. So universities that probably begin in November, you will not get an offer by March, April. No, because they don't care about you. They are still doing other things because their start date is further. But universities that probably start in September may start giving you offers in April. So don't judge. Nobody's going to judge you for that. I changed to, do I need, okay, so I changed two of my program options because I did. Yeah, that's fine. Just let them know on time. And yeah, so because they're going to ask you, so do you think you're going to get the offer? And then you say yes. Talk about career plan. What panels expect in career plan? Please, we've not talked about this question. Thank you, Kelly, for that question. So,
Career plan. Your career plan is also your more like a plan of what you intend to do.
mhm,
Um, Usually, you should be able to break it down into your immediate career plan, what you want to do immediately after your Chevening scholarship. You should have a medium term career plan and then
mhm,
a long term career plan. So once you're able to break it into these three categories, you would know if what you have in your immediate career plan, your medium and the long term, if they are achievable. I think that's all they want to know in those breakdown. So in the immediate, your immediate career goal, you should say what is very achievable immediately you finish your scholarship. One of the things I would say you should start eh, with when you're going to talk about your career plan is the fact that you're going to come back to your country. And once you come back to your country, your career plan starts. That's where you're going to start implementing everything you've learned in the UK, the skills you've acquired, the knowledge you've gained, the experiences and the exposure, where you're going to pour them into to
mhm.
make a difference. that is very easy to do. You do not need money, you do not need finances to do those. How you're going to quickly reproduce when you get back to your country. So for instance, it could mean you going back to the job you were doing before your Chevening award. That is very easy for you to go back
Mm-hmm.
to. That's if it's something you want to go back to. But it's going to be unrealistic for you to say, immediately after my Chevening scholarship, when I come back to my country, I'm going to start build a very big foundation. That's if you don't have one before now, or you're going to I don't know, something very big is not going to be realistic for them. It might
Unrealistic.
sound good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it might sound good. It might be a good idea, but that kind of a thing could be better if it comes up in your long-term goal.
Mm-hmm.
That could be better. But it's easier for you to go back to the foundation you were working with before you left,
Mm-hmm.
the job you were doing with before you left, we were working for before you left. If it's something that you're not going to go back to, then you can apply for something differently. But just make it realistic. That's for
Absolutely.
your immediate career goal. And then talking about your medium term, it
Mm-hmm.
could be you stretching further from what you already have in your short-term career goal. Expand it further, maybe between 2 to 5 years. With what I said I would do immediately, I should have expanded to reach this bigger number of persons. I should have from my short-term career goal. If I said I'm going to start up in a very in a particular city in my country, then what I could say in my medium term is that from that city I'm starting from, immediately when I come back in 5 years time, I should have touched more than 5 cities within my country. I should have reached more than 10 cities with it. Just expand on it. So the medium term doesn't have to be very different from what you're already doing. It's more like progression, how you're going to be expanding on it to impact more
Mm-hmm.
lives and touch more people. And then that way you could stretch it into a very big futuristic career goal for yourself. And everything you're going to be adding in your career goal should be something within the lines of what um, Chevening is sending you to the UK to study for.
Absolutely.
If, for
Absolutely.
instance, I told them I'm a lecturer, I want to study human rights, I'm passionate about human rights and stuff like that, and I cannot have in my career plan that once I come back to my country, I'm going to join a football club. I'm going to be, maybe in the long term, I want to be playing for Chelsea. Like, it's totally different. So there should be consistency.
Yes.
There should be, yeah. It should be a plan that should track itself without anybody tracking it. It should be what they look at and they say, okay, climbing like this, you're actually going to get to this step. So that's everything in your career goal. I think it should line up with what you've been saying from the beginning.
Yeah.
Even with what you are doing, what you want to do in the UK, everything should,
Mm-hmm.
intersect.
Yep.
It makes
Yep.
it easier for you. If you put it that way, they don't have to ask so much questions. I think when people get a lot of follow-up questions is when they say a lot of disconnecting things. You say this
Thank
and this, you say this and that, and they are
you.
confused. How is this going to link up? How is this going to tie with this? Like, a lot of confusion
Exactly.
in your answer. But if you choose a path and follow it,
Follow it.
and keep saying things in that area, different things that make sense in that area, they know that
Exactly.
you're focused. Yeah, even in
Yeah.
your career plan, you're supposed to be focused on a particular target, and that's
Yeah,
it.
absolutely, absolutely. When answering that question, you start by, oh, my short term career goals immediately I return to my country after achieving is this, and this is how I'm going to achieve it. My mid term career goal is this, and this is how I'm going to achieve it. And my long term career goal is this, and this is how I intend to achieve it. And then people always go and say things that both of us listening to you would sure know that you are not going to do this. And Even if you're supposed to do it, you will need so much resources. And you're going to tell us that you want to do that immediately you return? No, that should rather be in your long term, if possible, or mid-term. So I think when you're talking about your career goals, you should go and study what they call SMART goals. SMART goals is an acronym for specific. So your goals should be specific. Don't say, oh, when I return back to my country, I'm going to have to partner with lots of organizations to improve the country. Excuse me? Which organization? Improve what area of the country? Please be specific. So let us know. Are you going to work with poverty eradication organizations? If you like, mention the names. Are you going to focus on policy? Policy, you want to work with government agencies, specific agencies. So your career goals must be specific. It must be measurable. It must be measurable. You should be able to track, like what a Miracle said. Oh, when I return to my country, I'm going to start with this city, and in 5 years' time, I should have covered 5 cities. That is measurable. You are able to track it. That means when you want to, review your impact, you can track it. Oh, the first 1 year, we were able to impact like 100 people. In 5 years' time, 500. You are able to track. It's called impact evaluation. When we are evaluating your impact, we can measure it, and it is achievable. Don't go and be saying things like, I'm going to ensure that I'm going to become the governor of my country in the governor of my state in 3 years. I'm not saying it is not possible, but are you a politician? Are you already in the system? Are you even a local government chairman? You are not. How do you want to become a governor when you are not even a legislator, or you've not even entered politics? You are not even a special advisor. Nobody's going to leave the seat for you. So please, don't make your career plans ridiculous, because they will laugh at you. Even if they don't laugh in your front, when you leave, they will laugh at you. Make it achievable. Is it what she's saying? Is it achievable? Make it relevant. Like she said, don't go and study human rights and your career plan, you're talking about football. We're not saying you should not do football, but stay focused. Don't confuse people. And it has to be time bound, which is why you should talk about the short term, the medium term, and the long term. Thank you very much for coming to my TED Talk. Okay, we go to the next question. How to answer the question, where do you see yourself in 5 years? And how do you plan to leverage the Chevening community to get there? Over to you,
I think
lecturer.
we've talked about this. You've talked about it. Where you see yourself in 5 years, like your 5 year career goal.
Thank you.
So it's the same thing you're going to be saying. It's just that they asked it in a different way. So if they not ask you, tell us your career goal, and they ask you, where do you see yourself in 5 years? So it's also the same thing. You tell them where you expect yourself to be in 5 years. So I think it's the same thing.
There's a part that says, how do you plan to leverage the Chevening community to get there?
um is linked up to the networking essay, your networking ability. Like I said, and we've been saying since this session that Chevening is big on networking. So you could make them know that you are aware of the fact that Chevening is big on networking, and that's probably one of the things you like about Chevening network. And you are anxious about getting a lot of networks from the alumni body that are working in your field, and that you're going to be able to collaborate with them. You've seen the amazing things they are doing. You've seen the kind of impact they've made in different areas, and that you can't even wait now to join the alumni body, because you know it's going to be very, very fundamental in your professional life. So these are the things you can talk about in terms of Chevening network.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You've said it all. I changed two of my program options because I did a better benchmarking work, which is the best way to tell them I changed my options for more appropriate options without showing doubt in the pathway. I think you've answered the question already. You changed it because you have program without showing doubt in the pathway. Just communicate to them what motivated you to change and what is the advantage of the new ones you are choosing. They are not there to judge you. They just want to know that you're making the best decision for yourself. Razak says, thank you for those words. Thank you, Razak. ATNS says, I am waiting patiently for the panel to ask me why Chevening. Me too. That was my best. That was my best question. That question is too sweet, I bet. Like you'll be telling them about
Yeah,
chimney,
yeah.
they themselves, they'll feel like they don't actually know chimney because they'll be discovering things from your mouth. You're like, wow, wow. So that chimney is very sweet. This session is very informative. I am having so much fun while I am at work doing accounting. This is so much multitasking. Well done. And I pray that the outcome of your Chevening scholarship will show that this was not a waste of time. You will become
Yeah.
that Chevening scholar and you come back and tell us that your efforts were not in vain. And I'm praying that all of you on this session, that you will come out success, that the information you have gotten from this session will feed into your preparations and give you the confidence you need to be very outstanding. When they listen to all of you that have joined this session, they'll be like, there is something different about these ones, and you will definitely be selected. So we have, can you answer, if you don't get this scholarship, how will you be affected? I'm sure there is a better way to phrase this one. That's just like saying, why Chevening? So like, are they just trying to say, if you don't get Chevening, you can, that there are different avenues to achieve your goal. Why Chevening? So I think you've answered this question before, but just give another response to that.
I don't think they are probably going to ask you the way the person asks, if you don't get this scholarship, how will you be affected? Like it's not your life. So they are not asking you to tell them that you're going to be depressed or you're going to kill yourself. But 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 I think you should make them know that even if you don't get, that's if they put it this way, how you're going to be affected if you don't
Mhm.
get the scholarship, then let them know that you're confident in yourself, that if you don't get Chevening scholarship, which you know that you're going to get, but in the event that you don't get it, you're going back to do what you're already doing, you're going back to keep leading, you're going back to keep influencing, and keep impacting lives in your area. It's never going to stop you from putting in the how do I put it? It's never going to stop you from influencing lives just like you've been doing. So
Exactly.
if they ask you this way, let them know that you are confident in the fact that you're going to get it. And if you don't get it, then you're going back to be even better than you came. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you can even tell them that, um, you know, I just not tell them life goes on, but literally life goes on. Chevening is not life. You were doing this before Chevening, so you will continue impacting life, continue growing in your industry, and who knows, you might not even need a scholarship to fund yourself because your work will probably speak for you in bigger platforms. So they are just trying to see your confidence. They're saying, are you dependent on Chevening to do you? Because some people come and say, oh, what are you doing currently? I want to build a database where I can be collecting data for my country in statistics. Okay, so what have you done so far? No, 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 no. When I get Chevening, I will start it. So if they now ask you, if you don't get Chevening, what are you going to do? So it's like saying, I'm not passionate enough to do my thing with or without Chevening. Okay? So don't make it look like your progress depends on Chevening. You're already doing what you're doing. You just need Chevening platform to enhance what you're doing. Okay?
Mm.
So I heard the panel also includes one person from my field of study. What questions can I expect from my field? Is it still coming from my essays or not? Was there a panelist that was a lawyer for you?
I can't say because they were just casually dressed, so I can't even tell
But
if they were
but
lawyers.
okay,
But
they didn't
they,
mention
they,
their careers.
I think they did, but I wasn't even paying attention to them. I was
Yeah.
just get to I was
Mm-hmm.
paying attention to myself, but I think I took their names. That was very important because they needed me to address them by their names,
Their
not by
name.
their profession. Yeah, so I made sure I got their names so I could relate personally with them. But there was no lawyer in my
In
panel.
your
I can
panel.
tell you that there was no lawyer.
Yeah, it depends on your industry. They could be a lawyer or they could be somebody in your profession and they could not be. It could be an advantage or it could be a disadvantage. Because
But
for
even
somebody
if there is, they are
for
probably not going to ask you any professional question.
not professional, but the question that says, why did you choose the course that you choose, that you're probably just going to
Yeah,
analyze the problem and the skills you want to
yeah,
acquire and the solutions. If you go and say
yeah,
what is
mm,
not, and the person is in your field, the person is going to call you
mm,
out. The person is going to comment. Make sure you're saying the truth. Make sure you're not fabricating statistics, because if you have somebody in your field, they will challenge you. So it could go
yeah,
either way. It could go positive in the sense that when you are saying the problem in your field and that person is in your field, the person will be saying, yes, absolutely. And maybe when you're mentioning the skills you need and how you want to tackle it, and the person can relate, that is a positive aspect, because the person can literally relate. But if you now come and say the things that the person feels that you've not done enough research, or they are not backed up by evidence, they're going to challenge you, and that's where the problem will start. So just do your own research, do your homework, and ensure that if there's nobody in your panel that is in your field, your language is simple enough for just anybody to understand what you're talking about. You're able to communicate the problems and the skills in your industry for just anybody to understand. And if you have somebody in your field, the person will be happy enough to corroborate what you're saying by their response, okay? And the person will actually speak in your favor. Thank you very much for this session. Yeah, that's it. We have exceeded 4:30. This is like 1 hour, 30 minutes we have been going. Um, Great one. Thank you both. Let's know in the comment section that this has been helpful. Both of you are indeed an inspiration. Thank you. Miracle, this is all for you, okay? This is all for you. Thank you. Thank you. I'll come back to testify. Amen for you. I appreciate your time. We appreciate your time joining as well. And we hope that it is a very good investment for your interview. This has been such an informative and interesting session. Thank you both for your time. Enjoy your time out. I will try and enjoy my time out. Thank you so much, everyone. Let us know in the comment section if this has been helpful to you. Please appreciate Miracle in the comment section. We hope to see you in the UK this year, right? This year. We hope to see you in
yeah.
the UK this year. So, yes, thank you, Miracle. Please don't lose your smile. You have a beautiful smile. Oh, so cute. You both are amazing. Thank you so much, everyone. I really appreciate the fact that you did not just join, you actively participated. The session was not boring at all. I made some notes, some questions. I have not asked any question from there. And I think you guys asked really important questions that is even better than the questions I framed. So yes, thank you so much for that. Miracle, final words to just encourage these stars.
Okay, I would say just be yourself. Do not try to do everything you've heard 100%. It might not work out that way for you. Just be sensitive. Notice the environment you're in and just play along with your environment. Don't come and try to do what you've planned to do. It might change, and then just be ready to adapt to the changes, if any, based on what you have before you. I think I made that mistake in my own interview. I got there and it got to a point. I in my rehearsals, I was telling myself I was going to take water. So it got to a point, even though my throat was dry, I just said, okay, let me do what they said they do in interviews. And I requested for water. And they told me to help myself. I wanted to pour the water in the glass and it spilled on the interview table. Like everybody started packing their books. I was like, who sent me to drink water? So it was just me trying to drink water because everybody said if you don't know what to answer or you feel you've spoken for for a,
Ask for water.
for a while, just drink water. And I didn't really need the
Wow.
water, but I just was just trying to. So if not that I already had a very good interview, I mean that would have flopped everything for me. So do
Everything.
not try to come and do everything you've rehearsed you're going to do. Just flow with the environment, and I wish you the very best.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you. I don't think I have anything to add, to be honest. If you think we have not answered your question, There's a whole playlist on this channel on Chevening Interview. So go through it. You will see specific questions that I discussed. So, and then if you know anybody that did not join this session, I'm putting the link. This video will be saved on the channel. So I'm putting the link of the session so you can copy it and share to your WhatsApp groups, to your timelines, and you can actually come back to watch this video. If your interview is in 3 weeks or 4 weeks time, you may need a refresher. So you should come back and watch this video while you're preparing. And for those whose interview is next week and the week after, and for all of you, I really wish you all the best. Please come back to the channel, come back to this video and put your testimonies. I beg of you. The feedback is what keeps me going. Sometimes I'm like, I don't think that I need to do this, but when I get the feedback, I knew I need to do it. When Miracle reached out to me, let's do the live session. At the beginning, I felt like maybe we don't need it. So I went to the channel and I posted a picture of I did a poll. Should we do a live session or is all the videos on the channel sufficient? And the poll was that we should do a live session, and look at us. The session has been very engaging than I ever imagined, and Miracle has been amazing. So the feedback is actually what keeps me going, what keeps us going. So please don't restrict your feedback, and don't say that, oh, after you get Chevening, you have no business with KusKus again. You still do have business with me because the channel has, videos of how you should park when you're traveling, what you should take, how to even settle in, the flights to book, what transportation, how you should transport yourself from the airport to any part of the UK at all, how you should settle in. Everything you need as a student is on this channel. And when you're done getting back to your country, how to settle in. I shared my experience of when I was in Nigeria, when I went back to Nigeria. There's so much. So you can really not be done with me. You get what I mean?
And student
We
discount as
both
well.
need each other. So that's me saying, if you have not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. And thank you so much, everyone. If you did not watch live and you are watching it as a replay, do well. You can still drop your questions. I will always answer. If I cannot answer, I just copy the question and send it to Miracle. She will type a response and I'll come and paste it for you. Anyways, it was such an amazing session, and the comments, say all of that. This has been the most comprehensive session I've attended so far. Oh, thank you, ladies. God bless you. Thank you so much for the feedback. I wish you all the best. Love you all, future Chevening scholars. Thank you, Miracle, for having us and for all the insights. I should come and see you in London. Or are you coming to see me over here? Which one is this gonna be?
Any which way.
Which one is it gonna be? Any which way.
Anyone.
All right, thank you, everyone. I'm going to end this
Yeah.
session now. We have been live for 1 hour 42 minutes. So that's
Thank you,
that's
guys.
all right. Bye, everyone.
Bye.